Peter Parker gained a lot of new abilities when he was bitten by a radioactive spider in high school. He was given superhuman strength, speed, reflexes, agility, and he can even crawl on walls. But the one ability that sets Spider-Man apart from any other superhero is his sixth sense, his spider sense. His power to know when danger is lurking nearby has gotten him out of countless jams and gives him the upper hand in almost any battle. But how much do we really know about Spider-Man's most useful superpower?
This is my gift. My curse. Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
Is it really as simple as a little buzzing in Peter Parker's brain whenever baddies are nearby? Let us know what facts took you by surprise. And if you want to have a special sensing ability of your own, be sure to subscribe to CBR and hit the notify button so you can join our notification squad and feel your video senses tingling. It works in his sleep. For a villain trying to defeat Spider-Man, there's no bigger obstacle than trying to get around his spider sense. It would seem smart to try and attack him when that sense wouldn't be working, in his sleep.
Did Beethoven sleep before he wrote the Fifth?
Did Bernoulli sleep before he found the curves of quickest descent?
Oh, Rosie, I love this boy.
This is exactly what a criminal posing as Mysterio tried to do in Amazing Spider-Man number 141. His plan was to knock Spider-Man out with a gas that would put him to sleep, making it easier to defeat him. It worked, and Spider-Man was knocked off the edge of a roof. But before he hit the ground, his spider senses started tingling. Spider-Man was able to wake up just in time and save himself from certain doom. And it's not just when Spider-Man's in immediate danger from something as dramatic as a plummet from a skyscraper that his spider senses would wake him up. Just like regular people can wake up in the middle of the night if they smell smoke or hear a crash, Peter Parker can be jolted awake from a deep sleep when he feels the tingling of his spider senses. Even when Spidey himself is taking a rest, his senses are always keeping him safe. It protects his secret identity. Spider-Man's spider sense doesn't just detect immediate physical danger. Because keeping his real identity a secret is so important to his safety, his senses can also detect things like security cameras, bystanders, and anything else that might reveal to the world that he is really Peter Parker.
Peter, the final starts at 9, honey. And you said you would take my car into the shop because it keeps dying, remember?
Give me a second, I'm gonna get the door. Just give me a second.
This is how he manages to never change into or out of his costume without anyone seeing who he really is. We see this ability go into action in Amazing Spider-Man number 19. J. Jonah Jameson, desperate to publish an expose in the Daily Bugle and reveal to the world who Spider-Man is, got tired of Peter Parker refusing to reveal any secrets about everyone's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So he hired a detective to follow him. Mac Gargan stalked Peter Parker, but to no avail. Despite the fact that he wasn't trying to attack or harm him, Spider-Man still sensed that Gargan meant danger and was able to avoid being caught changing into his Spider-Man costume. Plenty of others have attempted to follow Peter in hopes of finding out what his relationship with the web-slinger is, but with his spider senses always on alert, few have succeeded. It doesn't work on everyone. Spider-Man's spider sense is his most useful asset in any battle, helping him avoid hard-hitting blows from Green Goblin or Dr. Octopus. This is why when a villain is immune, they prove to be some of his toughest opponents. Spider sense is pretty much useless against Venom. Because of their connection through the symbiote, his senses do not register Venom as a threat, something that seriously took Spidey off guard during their first encounter.
Hey, Parker.
My God, Eddie.
Ooh, my spider sense is tingling.
Other villains connected to the symbiote, such as Carnage and Toxin, are also invisible to Spider-Man's senses. One interesting note to add, however, is that the symbiote doesn't make Venom invisible to everyone's spider senses. Because the Scarlet Spider was cloned from Peter Parker before the symbiote bonded to Spider-Man, Venom is not immune to Scarlet Spider's senses. It's not just the symbiote that causes problems. Clones of Peter Parker also cannot be detected by spider sense because they share DNA. This means that they also cannot detect him or each other. So, a fight between Scarlet Spider, Kane, and Spider-Man would be normal hand-to-hand combat, no senses involved. It can be transferred. Marvel sure does love their crossovers. And we love getting to see two of our favorite heroes from different comic books come together to battle evil, and sometimes butt heads. In Amazing Spider-Man number 214, Spider-Man and Namor the Submariner have a brief fight over, what else? A beautiful woman. They take their fight outside where they're confronted by the Wizard, Namor's enemy Lyra, the Sandman, and Trapster, the new Frightful Four. The Wizard uses a powerful device that stuns both heroes and puts the two of them into a psychotransference field. At first, neither of them realize what's happened. They part ways to recuperate from the painful battle against each other and against the Frightful Four. The next day, Spider-Man is attacked from behind by the Sandman and brought back to the Wizard, who reveals what he's done. Namor, able to sense that Spider-Man is in trouble, comes to his rescue. Despite the fact that his spider senses are giving him a serious migraine, Spider-Man is able to teach Namor to harness the senses in battle, and the two work together to defeat the Frightful Four. After beating the bad guys, Namor and Spider-Man go to Reed Richards, who uses a machine to put them back to normal, which is good because Spider-Man is seriously in trouble without his senses. He needs special armor without it. After using a device to destroy the insect sense of Alistair Smythe's Spider Slayers, Spider-Man discovers that he too has lost his spider sense. After that, he gets shot in the stomach during a fight with a villain named Massacre. He realized he was seriously in trouble without his spider sense, so he went to Horizon Labs for a solution to his problem. He created a bulletproof suit called his Spider Armor to defeat Massacre. Without his spider sense, however, Spider-Man was constantly getting hit in battle, and was only able to wear his suit once before having to make a new and improved version called Spider Armor Mark II. In order to fight against the Sinister Six, Spider-Man made a third suit. These suits weren't his only time wearing metal armor to fight evil. He used his iron spider suit that Iron Man made him in Civil War. So why doesn't he always just wear a metal suit if it protects him better? He doesn't like them because of how much they negate his mobility. But without his spider sense, they're a necessary burden to bear. We're definitely glad Horizon Labs and Reed Richards helped him get his senses back. We like our Spider-Man doing whatever a spider can. It helps him navigate while blind. In a story arc beginning in Spectacular Spider-Man number 26, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man was hit in the face with an optic blast from the masked marauder. This caused Spider-Man to lose his eyesight. He was wandering around blindly until he fell off the edge of a building. Luckily, Daredevil was around to save him. Since Daredevil is no stranger to not being able to see whatever's attacking him, he was able to teach Spider-Man to use his spider sense as radar, much like his own abilities. Relying on the tingling of his spider sense to tell him where to go, he was able to move around without the use of his eyes. Using this new skill, he was able to beat the masked marauder blind. When he regained his eyesight, Spider-Man discovered that the experience had made his spider sense even stronger. With his senses at a new level, he became even more powerful than ever. So, while we're sure he didn't like being blind, it was a useful experience. He's used his spider sense to see in dark areas several times since. It doesn't work when he's not paying attention. As we pointed out earlier, Spider-Man's spider sense is always active, even when he's asleep. However, it isn't effective all the time. Because his spider sense is a part of his mind, it needs rest, just like any other part of the brain. If Spider-Man is seriously injured, his spider sense can lose its edge. This is also true if he's just tired or worn out. A distracted Spider-Man is a vulnerable one. When he's tired, he lets his mind wander, which means he isn't paying attention to when his spidey senses are tingling. When he's tired, his brain loses its focus, making it easy for anyone with ill intentions to get the upper hand on him. While wearing the symbiote costume, Peter Parker slowly realized he was constantly tired. This fatigue didn't just hurt his personal life, it also meant serious trouble for fighting bad guys as Spider-Man. Because he was constantly tired, he wasn't paying attention to his spider sense, and when he was, he didn't have enough time to react. Basically, if Spidey wants to win in a fight, he better take a nap first, or do what we do and drink a lot of coffee. It can be used to detect his spider tracers. Peter Parker's aptitude in science helped him design a device which he could use to track villains, and he called it a spider tracer. Basically, these devices are tiny electronic mechanisms that send out a radio signal. They're small enough that Spider-Man can secretly plant a spider tracer on his enemies and then find them again later with a small portable receiver he'd made. While on the hunt for Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man realized something pretty exciting. Apparently, he could pick up on the frequencies emitted by his spider tracers using his spider sense. He doesn't even need to use his receiver. Kind of like a high-stakes game of hot and cold, his spider sense will buzz louder and louder the closer he gets to one of his spider tracers. This means that all Spidey has to do to find an enemy is plant a tracer and let his spider sense do the rest of the work. Spider tracers aren't only useful for finding bad guys. Spider-Man also gave Mary Jane a special necklace containing a tracer. If MJ were ever to get kidnapped or put into danger, the web-slinger would be able to use his spider sense to find her and come to the rescue. It can be used against him. Spider-Man's spider sense is probably the most useful weapon in his arsenal. But as many times as he used it to get the upper hand on his enemies, the bad guys can also use it to their advantage. In the 1970s, the Jackal hired the Punisher to defeat Spider-Man. He tried, and he failed. However, in the alternate universe timeline of What If number 58, the Punisher finds out about the webslinger's spider sense and uses it against him. He was able to fill a dummy of Dr. Octopus with plastic explosives. When Spider-Man was drawn towards it by his senses tingling, Punisher set off the explosives. Unfortunately, Spider-Man was close enough that it spelled the end for everyone's favorite wall-crawling web-slinger. Punisher is not the only one to figure out how to turn Spider-Man's spider senses into a weapon.
Got mad skills.
That's all on YouTube though, right?
In Civil War, Iron Man uses his abilities against him after Spider-Man switches sides and decides to back Captain America. Unlike Punisher, however, he didn't use Spider-Man's senses to trick him. Instead, he studied how the spider sense worked and managed to program his own version into his armor. He was able to react to threats the same way as Spider-Man, leaving them evenly matched in battle. It doesn't react to his friends. Spider sense is wired deeply into Spider-Man's brain. It's able to know there's trouble from what he perceives to be threats. Basically, when supervillains like the Rhino or Green Goblin are around, Spider-Man knows he's in danger because they're his enemies and he knows they're out to hurt him. However, his spider sense won't work for people who Spider-Man knows and trusts, which makes him an easy target for anyone who would double-cross him. This makes it a surprise when anyone Spider-Man believes is on his side attacks him, like Aunt May.
Say something!
In Amazing Spider-Man number 114, Aunt May clobbers Spider-Man in the head with a vase, believing him to be an intruder in her house. He's knocked unconscious by the blow, which he never saw coming because his brain would never expect Aunt May of all people to hurt him. His trusty spider sense didn't go off. Luckily, none of his enemies were around to take advantage of his tough hit. It easily could have cost Spider-Man his life, or have his secret exposed to Aunt May. Where would Spider-Man be without his trusty spider sense? The truth is, the bad guys would have beaten him a long time ago. He uses it to dodge bullets, punches, lightning bolts, and Dr. Octopus's metal arms. Spider sense is his only defense when facing superpowered enemies. And as it turns out, it's not as simple as we thought it was. Did any of these facts surprise you? Are there any we missed? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure to like this video, subscribe to CBR, and join the notification squad for more videos like this.